David, as you remember, committed adultery. He then committed murder, tried to cover up the adultery. God brought it to his attention, and I believe without any doubt, God forgave him of his sin. The Bible also says that the sword will never leave David's house because of what he had done. I believe even though the sin was forgiven, there was a consequence to the sin. But make no mistake about it, God forgives. You would stand with me, if you're able, as we read Psalm chapter 32. And I believe you're going to be hearing the words of David here. Blessed is he whose transgression is forgiven, whose sin is covered. Blessed is the man to whom the Lord imputeth not iniquity, and in whose spirit there is no guile. When I kept silence, my bones waxed old through my roaring all the day long. For day and night thy hand was heavy upon me. My moisture is turned unto the drought of summer. Selah. I acknowledged my sin to thee, and mine iniquity have I not hid. I said, I will confess my transgressions unto the Lord, and thou forgavest the iniquity of my sin. Selah. For this shall everyone that is godly pray to thee in a time when thou mayest be found. Surely in the floods of great water shall they not come nigh unto him. Thou art my hiding place. Thou shalt preserve me from trouble. Thou shalt compass me about with songs of deliverance. Selah. I will instruct thee and teach thee in the way which thou shalt go. I will guide thee with mine eye. Be ye not as the horse or as the mule, which have no understanding, whose mouth must be held in with bit and bridle, lest they come near to him. Many sorrows shall be to the wicked, but he that trusteth in the Lord, mercy shall compass him about. Be glad in the Lord and rejoice, ye righteous, and shout for joy, all ye that are upright in heart. Let's pray. Father in heaven, as we come to you from this morning, Lord, we do thank you for this beautiful day that you've given us. Father, we thank you for the opportunity that we have to come to your house to worship your holy name. Father, we pray that if there be one lost here this morning, they would come to know Jesus. And Father, we pray that they would understand the forgiveness that you have for us. Father, we thank you that as your people, when we commit these sins, we can come to you and turn them over to you to ask for your forgiveness with the promise and assurance that you will answer those prayers, that you will remove that sin as far from the east as the west. Father, we thank you for those promises. And Father, take this service and use it for your honor and for your glory. And we thank you in Jesus' blessed name. Amen. David was at a time in his life when he was having a lot of different problems. David committed a sin and tried to cover it up with more sin. And because of that, I believe he lost the fellowship with God that he once had. Later on, he makes the statement, restore unto me the joy of thy salvation. That was David talking to God. Notice he did not say, restore my salvation. He said, restore the joy of my salvation. He didn't say, I lost my salvation. He said, I have gotten away from you to the point where I can't feel that happiness that I once had in serving you. Something had come between him and God, and it was none other than sin brought about by Satan. Now, Satan is there to tempt us in every direction. When we get out of the center of God's will, Satan jumps on us with both feet. When we're not exactly where we should be, when Satan sees that opening, he does his best to tear us away from God. And when he does, we lose that joy that we once had. I want you to stop and look back on your life. Can you remember a time that when serving the Lord was number one priority in your life? Can you remember a time that when you wanted to get around people, you wanted to tell them all that you'd gotten saved? You couldn't wait maybe to get back to your family to tell them. Was there a time in your life when you were really excited about serving God? And if there was, and it's not that way now, what has happened? Maybe like David, you've lost the joy. Now, David realized that he was going to pay a price for his sin. Nathan told him, because of what you've done, the sword will never leave your house. Last time we looked in 2 Samuel, we saw where Absalom was doing his best to take the kingdom from David. David was anointed as king, and Absalom, his own son, decided for some reason that he hated his father. Now the Bible says that what Absalom did was go and sit at the gate. And when anybody would come in that had a problem, they needed to talk to the king, and they needed somebody to set in judgment. Absalom would pretty much lie to him and explain to him that, well, this is the king's son. If you want me to help you out, I'll help you. It seemed like he was doing the right thing to the people. Now this went on for about 40 years. Now, I look at Absalom at that point in time as being a pretty good politician. You know, one of those people that promises you everything and tells you how great it's going to be if you'll just depend on them. Now, you look at the politicians of the world. Have you ever heard a politician come to your house and hit the bitch and say, listen, I'm not very good at what I do, but I'm going to do my best. I'm probably not going to be able to change everything, but I'm going to see what I can do. Have you ever heard a politician say that? Or do you hear more in the line of, you put me in office and we're going to see a change. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And they make all of these promises. That was Absalom. Absalom, sitting at the gate, was undermining the king. To the point that the majority of the people started to follow Absalom. To the point that King David took some of his men and left because Absalom had been given the advice that you need to just get rid of the king. The advice that he was given was, let me take some of our most powerful men and we will go and we will scare the people enough that they will think we're attacking them, but I will actually just be after King David. And once he's gone, all the people will be following you, Absalom, and everything will be all right. Now we're talking about King David, who is going through this because of the sin in his life. But when we come to the book of Psalms, and my Bible says this is a Psalm of David, listen to what he's saying. Blessed is he whose transgression is forgiven. David knew that his sins had been forgiven. David also knew why he was going through the things he was going through. He knew it was his own fault. But how many people today, when they start getting into some hard times or start having problems in their lives, instead of saying to God, what have I done? Or instead of saying, God, forgive me because I know what I've done, how many people actually make the statement, I don't understand how God could do this to me? You ever heard that one? There are many times when we, if we would stop and examine our lives, would know why things are happening to us the way they're happening. But nobody wants to take responsibility for anything today, do they? Nobody's fault. We have a lot of problems in our country today. But whose fault is it? Ask any politician, they'll tell you it's not theirs.